So today I'm going to switch things up. I normally do guides to help beginners, but I'm going to do a guide to help more experienced players. So if you're having trouble getting that 2k damage badge, then I got some tips to help you out. Timestamps are in the comments section as usual. A few seasons ago I couldn't get a 2k damage badge, and like you, I'm sure you saw all the tips everyone says, like just shoot at everything that passes, or use a sniper and R99, or my favorite useless tip, hot drop and kill everyone around you. And none of these worked. So as I got better and I got more 2k badges over time, I came up with two sets of rules that help. These don't guarantee you'll get a 2k badge, but it does increase your chances of getting one. So the first set are general rules that you just want to keep in mind all the time, and the second set apply to the type of character you're going to play. So here's the first set, and these are in order of importance. So these rules are kind of linked to each other. Survive is pretty self-explanatory. The longer you're alive, the higher your chances of causing more damage and getting 2k. Do whatever it takes to stay alive, and don't forget to shield swap often, and actually don't get attached to your shields. Even if you have a red or purple, if it's empty during a fight, switch to any shield that's nearby. It could be blue or white, doesn't matter. That has saved me a lot. So if you win that gunfight, you can always go back and get back your red shield. Number 2, don't overcommit to fights. Doesn't matter if you kill 2 people and you got the last guy almost dead, don't go chasing him halfway across the map. Also, if a third party shows up, just rotate so you're not sandwiched between teams, or simply leave. There are some people who try to stay and fight 2 squads, but don't do that. Why? Rule number 1. If a fight lasts too long, just leave, because a third party will show up. If you're going back and forth for a while and no one seems to be dying, then leave. Knowing when to leave is super important, which leads to rule number 3. You're not here for kills, just damage. But if you do get knockdowns, finish those kills, because that extra damage does help. And number 4, play for yourself. In every video I promote team play, but this is the one time I will say fuck the team. If they overcommit to a fight and get knocked, leave them. Do not risk your life for your team. If you ping that you're leaving and they stay and fight and get knocked and you're left in a 3v1, fuck them. If the enemies are dead, then sure, go ahead and revive them, but if you have the thought of, if I do this I could die, then don't do it, and unfortunately that includes reviving down teammates or trying to get their banners. Before I get into the second set of rules, here are 2 things that you should know. Again, lots of people say a hot drop at the start and farm kills, but I disagree with that advice. At the start, everyone has white shields, and even if you kill a whole squad yourself, you only get about 300 to 600 damage. So instead, land just outside of popular areas, loot up, and then go towards them. Don't hot drop in those areas. And don't take long to loot up either. Get some guns and go fight. You'll get better loot as you kill more people. If you loot a blue shield, or if you get good guns first, then just start heading towards where you hear people fighting, and just constantly keep doing that. Mid to late game is the best time to actually farm damage, because by then everyone has purple and reds, and killing them normally racks up damage pretty fast. And the second thing is to use the wingman. You don't have to, but it will make your job a lot easier. It's great at all ranges, does a lot of damage, and doesn't use much ammo, leaving space for grenades or heals in your bag. If you suck with this gun, then just keep practicing, you'll get better eventually. Actually, the key to using the wingman is just to not panic. Once you start panic spraying, you will die. So just take your time and aim and you'll be fine. So now on to the characters, starting with the mobility legends. This would be like Octane, Wraith, Valkyrie, Pathfinder. You want to have a very aggressive playstyle. You can face check everyone and play super risky because your abilities complement that playstyle. And you can get out of danger pretty quickly if you need to. And as for weapons, since you'll be pretty up close with enemies, I'd say use any high damage or high fire rate weapons. So shotguns, the flatline, wingman, R99, Volt, or 301 are all good choices to use together. When it comes to picking guns, I normally choose one gun that's good against shields, like heavy or energy weapons, and one that's good for shredding people without shields, like light weapons or shotguns. My go-to combo is the 301 and a wingman, or the 301 with a Volt. For the offensive legends like Fuse, Revenant, and the others, you can still play aggressive, but not as aggressive as the mobility legends. So use your abilities often since they cause damage to enemies, and you want to cause as much damage as possible. Fuse is actually super easy to get damage with. Because of his kit, I got the most 2k damages at the end of the round, the most times with him. The loadout for these legends would be a combo of guns, one good for medium range and one good up close. I would have recommended the G7, but that's in the care package now, so the R301, Hemlock and Rampage are good for medium to long ranges, and combo those with a wingman, shotgun, or one of the SMGs. For the few defensive legends we have, actually due to all of them getting buffs in the last few seasons, when it comes to playstyle, you can actually play a little bit aggressive. But I recommend creating scenarios where you have the upper hand because of your abilities. So with Caustic, I try to take fights indoors where I can kind of control the pace of the fight with my gas. In fact, I did that for this entire match. I was taking fights indoors where I constantly had the upper hand. It's easy to get damage with Rampart and her amped walls, plus the buff to her turret. You can move it now and it does an insane amount of damage. And as for Watson, you just want to use her ult pretty often since it heals you during fights, and she got a huge buff for Season 11. For your weapon loadout, one high damage gun and one gun that's good for medium to long ranges. The Flatline and 301 surprisingly is a good combo. They both have good hipfire accuracy, which is great for fighting up close, but you can also use LMGs for that constant DPS and their high ammo count, which is great to use for spraying down enemies caught in your fences or ones that set off your caustic traps. Also, Rampart pairs well with LMGs because of her passive. And lastly, for the support legends like Loba, Lifeline, Seer, and the rest, you're going to have to rely purely on your aim and game sense since their abilities don't do damage or help you escape danger. So you're kind of going to have to use their abilities to either help you get kills or to stay alive. So for these legends, I'd actually recommend snipers. The longbow does a lot of damage, but me personally, I prefer the sentinel. But if you can't snipe, any of the other marksman weapons will do, and since those are semi-auto and good at medium to long range, you want to pair it with a high damage full auto weapon that's good at close range. So I'd recommend either the 301, R99, or a Volt. And if you're really confident in your aim, then you can even pair it with a wingman. So you have both weapons that are high damage and good at all ranges. If you're struggling in gunfights, I did a guide on how to win more fights and also on how to loot faster and better. Plus, I did a lot of guides on how to play most of the characters here, so I'll have both of those playlists at the end. So go click them and you can go through some of the videos. And yeah, I think that's it for all the different legend types. If you made it this far into the video, I am selling an Apex wallpaper pack that I made on Gumroad, so feel free to check it out. Links will be in the description. You get 6 desktop wallpapers for $3. But yeah, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and comment with any tips you think would be helpful to getting 2k damage. Subscribe for more Apex content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.